gon' make it disappear like a ZKZX. Like a ZKZX. I gon' make it disappear like a ZKZX. Like a ZKZX. I'm on poles making LPs just to print a check. Got a bag of pulls back just to make a flex. Bridge then with Sparkswap, cause that shit up next. Got my chain gang phone, you can call me through the chain. Call me through the chain. You wanna reach me, call me on the chain. Call me on the chain. I got a drop, a daddy. Feature going steady. Got my E-hex and my ledger going crazy. Earning all this ink every day, I'm claiming daily. Trailer park boys, and you know we going crazy. I gon' make it disappear like a ZKZX. Like a ZKZX. I gon' make it disappear like a ZKZX. Like a ZKZX. I gon' make it disappear like a ZKZX. Like a ZKZX. I gon' make it disappear like a ZKZX. Like a ZKZX.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. This is our live AMA. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. My name is AJ. I'm the team lead here, and I'm joined by two fellow team members today. First of all is LA, my normal co-host with the most. LA, how are you?
Hey guys, I'm great. Nice to be here with all of you.
Amazing. And we have a special guest, DEX CEO, or Jake, one of our incredible devs behind the scenes. Jake, how are you, brother?
I'm good, brother, man. Thanks for having me back on. It's been too long, it feels like.
Yeah, bro, no doubt. So we try to get Jake on. We keep him in the dungeon coding with all of our other Jakes. All of our devs are named Jake, it seems. So, yeah, man, I know you're on the mobile today. Hopefully everybody can hear you. Okay, but we definitely want to have you on. We're gonna go over a bunch of stuff in the beginning. If you do have to run, just let us know. But I think we can cover most of it. But before we get started, literally, minutes before the stream, word is out that the ETH ETF approval is official, which, again, we're still verifying all that, but it looks to be the case, and that is mega, mega bullish for not only crypto as a whole, but all of our ecosystems as well. Obviously, with EMP Fusion coming, that is a direct exposure to Ethereum. Obviously, Pulse is kind of a leveraged Ethereum play as well, because, again, for those that don't know, the origin address, OA wallet, that may or may not be owned by Richard Hart, that address bought literally, I think it was $100 million worth of Ethereum. So when Ethereum goes up, that's a good sign for Pulse as well. So really exciting stuff. Amazing start, and we're not even outside of May yet. Usually we start seeing the real bull run kick in, towards the end of summer, July, August time. So things are on fire, and our ecosystem is on fire as well, pun intended. We will get into all that, but we've had some major, major burning of Spark. And the launch of our 404s. So, again, we're going to go over a lot of info with that. I know a lot of you still have questions. We're going to clarify some things as well, and we're going to just jump right in. So, we did launch our 404. That happened earlier this week. The launch was a bit rocky in terms of launching, but the code was and still is 100% solid. It's been extremely beneficial to the overall Spark ecosystem, and we've done a ton of volume, literally $1 million a day, almost on the 404 tokens themselves, as well. So, for those, again, that don't know what the 404 is, please join one of our previous AMAs to learn all about it. We've also updated the white paper as we've gone along and tried to make this as give you as much info as possible, even though the 404 is brand new technology where we're all learning and experimenting together. So again, I want to get Jake on before he has to run, but I think we can kind of start with maybe addressing what happened with the bots in the very beginning and why, again, we had to sell down to get to a good launch price, and that all of the money that was sold did not go into our pockets. It actually helped stabilize the launch. So, Jake, do you want to go over that real quick, brother?
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to jump in on that one. So I think you hit it on the head. Obviously this is a super experimental, bleeding edge technology, that we've not only kind of started pioneering, but really trying new things with it, right? I mean, pretty much anyone who's been with us, knows that we have some of the most smoothest launches in crypto, which I can understand some people's frustrations when things don't go exactly as planned. But again, just to preface it, this stuff is we're still kind of learning as we go. Like you said, the tech is solid, the code is solid. With this launch specifically, though, we decided to launch the initial bSPARK pair a little bit earlier than expected, right? In previous launches, we had launched them all at the same time, but we thought that by launching the bSPARK pair earlier, we'd be able to gather a little bit extra liquidity, and ultimately evening out any sell pressure on the launch. It was a good strategy at first. However, what I don't think people realize is that because these pairs are so exotic, right? Like most 404, like every 404, let's say, right? It's just paired with ETH and they launch it and it's, it is what it is, right? Because of the structure, the way we're using it, right? We are, the mechanism is to burn Spark, which, clearly, we did our job there, right? More than 3 million Spark burn in the first 12 hours or something like that, right? So that was very positive. But again, because the way that we're doing that is by pairing this Spark404, which is essentially, something we created, with another token, bSPARK, which again is something we created, and then all of that is tied to this one bSPARK PLS pair, right? So again, what I don't think people maybe realize is that the two are like inexplicably correlated, right? So you've seen this even like if you have EMP, right, or E shares, right, and the price of ETH drops, right, even if there's 0 buys or sells on E share, right, the price of EMP is going to drop, or I'm sorry, E share would drop, right, in this case. So it's a similar thing, but it's even another layer down because, again, there's this exotic pairing that doesn't really have a price, right? It's only getting the price from the B share PLS pair. So unfortunately, when it came time to pull the trigger on the full launch, so much buy pressure was coming in from the B share pool that it was driving the prices up of the 404, right? And in order to get the liquidity put in at the right levels, right? We didn't want to flood the market with additional B shares, so we had to get the price of Spark404 back to like reasonable levels, right? And ultimately, what we did was we just sold both of them down, which got the pricing to where we needed it to add the liquidity. And then, like you said, immediately after anything that was made in that process, we just bought the B share right back up. And again, it's been fluctuating. I guess one other thing, I maybe like to mention too, that I'm sure it's probably on your bullet points. So apologize for skipping the line here.
Yeah.
But I guess I guess it's correlated also. It's a good segue anyway, because we did have a lot of questions about B share being pegged to I'm sorry, not B share, bSPARK pegged to Spark, right? And I know this can also cause some confusion, right? But again, it's part of the system, right? It's not meant to keep a full peg all the time, right? Our bots aren't just continually buying up bSPARK because we'd run out of money and there, it wouldn't be worth it, right? But you'll see if you look at the chart, right, it ebbs and flows, right? It goes up and down. It gets to the peg, right, and then people start selling their Spark404s, right, to take advantage of the better price on bSPARK, and then vice versa. If bSPARK is lower, right, people are able to essentially arb it because they can buy Spark404 at a better price, right? So, again, part of this is maybe confusion with the pairings, and granted, maybe it could have been a little smoother at launch, but then again, rolling kind of right into where we're at now. Like I said, everything's running very smoothly right now, and these shouldn't be causes of alarm, right? They're expected movements.
Yeah, no, 100%, Jay. I think that's a great overview. Again, everything that we're saying too can be seen on chain, and verified. Another issue again that really added to the complexity and confusion was that Dex Screener really had a horrible price feed, and I think a lot of that is due to, like Jake said, because we're creating LP in bSPARK and Spark404 and not, a more recognized token, the price feed was all over the place. And that also, made it extremely confusing because we saw Spark404 going to, $20,000 an NFT, and that just wasn't the case. And remember, when you have low liquidity, that is the risk that you take. And, we try to be as transparent as possible with that. And, we obviously don't want to purposely screw people, but we are going to absolutely protect our community when front-running bots and other people that think they can, again, like Jake said, cut the line. That is something that we have to address. And, I think overall, that was a very small minority of people and bots. But it is what it is. And again, we did everything in our power to make it right upon the official launch. And we did. I mean, the actual launch price was right around our target at $30. So yeah, again, you want to add to that, Jake?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the Dex Screener thing is a great point because I'll be honest, that even got me for a little bit. I didn't even question it at first because with like literally less than $1 liquidity, it's possible to jump that high, right? But
For sure.
in reality, until we caught that, it was definitely much higher than we thought. But again, I think you touched on it, but again, it's not like we were dumping to take any profit. Like I said, we needed to get to the price levels. Also too, it's like worth mentioning that again, if you had bought bSPARK, right, even if we dropped the price down, like we said, it was bought right back up. So I understand there may have been some confusion around that, but if you held you would still be at the same levels, right? And also too, I guess one more point on that. When it was launched, I think a lot of people just bought the bSPARK right away. So bSPARK actually was trending higher than Spark itself, right? Again, this is like it's natural. It's part of the this kind of elastic peg system, right? I mean, we're all familiar with the tomb forks, right? It's literally almost the same thing, right? But you have to, as an investor, you have to be aware of what price you're getting in at, right? If you were buying bSPARK at 15 cents, right, when Spark was at 9 cents, then you're already at a little bit of a disadvantage, right? I think that also kind of that didn't help anything, especially as we're dropping it back to lower levels.
Totally. Yeah, no doubt. And on the flip side of that, though, again, if you are paying attention and you are, a little more of a savvy user, you can also do the opposite to your advantage, which again, Jake touched on a little earlier. Keep an eye on bSPARK. because again, it's an elastic peg. We obviously try to keep it not going above the price of Spark, but it will go below the price of Spark, and that is an amazing arbitrage opportunity for the community to burn some Spark or buy it at essentially a discount, bSPARK rather, and then that can be used to get the NFTs at a bit of a discount. So again, there's we're all used to the gamification that crypto is. Obviously, we all want to ape, we all want to get in early, but you have to understand that it is, the risk that you take, especially when accepting, anybody that did trade before our official launch, you had to accept a massive amount of slippage, and you're the one pushing the buttons and knowing the risk. So again, I just want to make sure that we are as transparent as we possibly can, and just to say that now is as bullish as ever. I think now that the dust has settled, rewards are coming in. We're going to clarify a little bit more on the reward structure and the listing, the way you list your rare NFTs. But like Jake said, none of the code was any issue. It was simply the starting liquidity, and at the very end of the day, we said for weeks, if not days before, with our AMAs, that we would always recommend to wait for the official launch, through all of our socials, where then we would post the actual contract address and be ready to go. So now is a great re-entry point or entry point if you faded the launch. And even now, I mean, again, like I said, the official launch price was right around $30. So we're still at at least a 2x or almost a 2x from here. So things are still looking healthy, and the ultimate win for everybody was how much Spark we burned. So we can go into that too. But LA, was there anything else we needed to address in terms of the actual launch before we go into some other bullish updates?
No, I think you guys covered it. I think it was important to start with that and definitely clarify. So you guys really covered that well.
All right, amazing. So, Jay, I'm gonna go through this as fast as I can, man. If you gotta run, just interrupt me. But again, we want to go through it all. The vaults are also now live, which is really bullish as well. We have multiple options for farming bSPARK and PLS. So not only are the 404s an amazing use case for bSPARK, but you can actually earn more Spark by burning your Spark. So again, please don't sleep on the farm as well. We will intentionally boost the rewards in that bSPARK PLS farm. And again, now with the vaults, you can do that automatically. I know there's a few vaults. All you have to do is search bSPARK in the search area, and it will give you multiple different vaults with different take profit strategies, amazing APRs. All of them are pretty much 1% a day in terms of APY. And again, it's simultaneously burning even more Spark from those rewards. So, and the numbers don't lie. We burned, like Jake said, 3.2 million Spark. So, Jake, you want to add to that? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I just want to make sure everyone is still aware of the risks, right? And the benefits, right?
For sure.
When you're in the bSPARK vaults, right? It's the same. Again, the same as any other farm, right? You're buying, even if you zap in, you're buying bSPARK, right? So again, you want to make sure you kind of watch the price. Again, if it's below the price of Spark, right? If bSPARK is lower than Spark, that would be a great time to enter, because I'm telling you, it especially in the beginning, it's a little wild because the prices are still trying to find its balance. But honestly, you can, like, right now, you guys can all go to pull up Deck Screener and look at bCedo and gCedo, right? Like literally after a couple days of launch, both prices have been like directly correlated within 5% of each other every day. So again, it's not financial advice, but bSPARK is cheap right now, in my opinion.
For sure, bro. Yeah, and again, I'm glad you brought up Cedo because I think that's a great example. Obviously, we are the only team now to incorporate reflections on 404s, and Cedo was the original. Spark404 is the second. But to your point, even the 404s, if you look, it took a few days. Even a week, I think, for the appreciation to really start and for people to really understand how this works. So again, we know that it can be a little confusing. It is bleeding edge technology, and we're doing everything we can to educate the community, but sometimes it just takes a while for people to really wrap their heads around it and get excited all over again. So all right, awesome. Again, and we've seen the success with Spark Token, again, by burning so much of the supply. We'll talk a little bit more about numbers here at the end, but we've also been on
Yeah,
a, yeah, go ahead, Jake.
yeah. Real quick, let me just throw this in too. Just so again, so you guys kind of get an idea of what's happening here. You know, of course, on the launch, right? Everyone in the ecosystem, people that knew about it, right? They're burning their Spark, right? Which is positive. That's what we want, right? They're buying, they're converting that to bSPARK and they're buying Spark404, right? Price goes up, people take profit, right? It's like any other launch. It's volatile. It's crazy. But then what happens, obviously when you're selling 404s, you're then dropping the price of, obviously of 404s, but also of the bSPARK. But however, with the AMA train that's lined up and that you've been on, what happens is new people are kind of be coming in that don't have Spark, right? And they just want a piece of the Spark 404s, right? But in order to do that, they're going to have to buy the bSPARK, right? And that's what's going to kind of drive that price back up.
Perfect, man. Again, you're on it. You don't even have the notes. The LA and I do, and you literally covered the next topic. So yeah, I mean,
Sorry,
no, bro, it's
steal that
perfect.
thunder.
LA and I, we joke about this on all the AMAs. I don't know. Again, Jake, I know you listen to most of them, but it's amazing how the entire development team is just on this wavelength where we work so well together. And again, that you just proved it, man. I didn't even tell you what we're talking about, and you segued right in. So yeah, I mean, to Jake's point, we've been on a massive AMA train, and as we continue to roll through all of this, into the end of next week, so again, a week and a half more of coverage, obviously that drives more volume into the ecosystem and gets people excited and gives them a fair entry point after the dust has settled. And remember, there's only 10,000 NFTs, just like any other NFT collection. The more people that buy and hold, that is much less selling pressure over the long run. So 10,000 is very, very small in terms of token supply, which again, because it's a 404, that matters when we're talking about the liquidity pool. So again, there's a lot of really unique mechanisms that are yet to come to play as we continue to grow. So this week was amazing already. We had Golem's Gems yesterday. We had Moonshot Max, which was a great one. Again, please go and look at all the recordings on Facebook. And then today we were on with Wolf Financial, which is a totally new ecosystem and bit of KOLs that we've never even spoken to, and they were in love with what we were doing. So that is super bullish in terms of getting exposure to a whole new audience. And then obviously Crypto Pride today as well, one of our OG supporters who, again, I think he's in the lead for the perpetuals platform
Man, he's
competition.
killing us.
Yeah, bro.
It's still anyone's game. We have a whole week in May left, so get on the perpetuals competition, guys. Social sharing, social sharing.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, there's plenty of room to catch up, but look at Crypto Pride on how it's done for sure. So again, we have a ton of other amazing, really influential groups and channels coming later this week. So LA, I know that's kind of your wheelhouse, or is 100% your wheelhouse. Anything you want to add to the marketing? Yeah.
For sure. Just today I booked 3 more. So
Let's
we are
go.
on it. Oh my God, it is insane what we have lined up for Fusion too. PS, like every few days we're getting more and more and more. And when we line up one, we line it up for every project of ours at once. So we get it for Spark, for Fusion, for all of them. So we just get, we think in advance because we like to work smart and hard.
I love it.
But yeah, we lined up 3 more today. We have absolutely another jam-packed schedule tomorrow with another 3 AMAs tomorrow. We've got one on Saturday. We've got one on Sunday. We've got one on Monday. We've got, I think, 3 on Tuesday. We've got 2 on Wednesday. Like it just keeps going and going, guys. So continued to stay. What do they say in airplanes? Please remain seated with your seatbelts fully fastened until the pilot turns off the seatbelt sign.
Yes, totally. Yeah, that seatbelt sign will be on for a long time. Totally.
Yeah, we are not yet preparing for landing.
Yeah. I love it. The LA flight attendant voice. That'll be a new meme, I'm sure. So I love it. All right, awesome. Thank you, LA. So yeah, we're just getting started. So all right, again, in the interest of time, we'll try to move things right along here, and kind of move into more of our question section. Not the official question section, but some loose ends that a lot of people have been asking about. So and if we don't cover any of what you need to clarify, please feel free to type in the live chat or on our Discord. But all right, Jake, this one is for you, and because I think from a technical standpoint, it's probably best for you to give the answer, and then I'll elaborate for sure. So this is about the re-rolling. So we want to clarify re-rolling. When you go and try to re-roll, how do you know which NFT you will get or which NFT is burned? And again, we say burned, but it actually goes back into the liquidity pool, which I think is part of the confusion for people. And then how will they know, how do they know that they're not going to end up with the exact same NFT? Because I know that's been a frustration for some people. So I guess go over the technical, Jake, and then we can talk a little bit more about strategy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, the quick answer is that you don't know, and honestly, you shouldn't.
Sure.
To be blunt, like we want you guys all to get the best, the best NFTs you can get, right? There is some gamification to it. That's part of the fun, right? But at the same time, we're not trying to just have all of the the best gold NFTs like sucked out of the pool, in the first day from like one or two guys that are just hitting the buy sell button for like 50 cents. This was specifically designed in. This is one of the things we actually expanded upon. We joked that this is our, literally a new standard, which it kind of is. We noticed some problems with this on the original standard, where that's exactly what people were doing. Like a couple of the smarter individuals, right, were able to figure out exactly where the best NFTs were at in the queue, and then they would just kind of wait until that happened, and like they would just go, hit, buy sell, 100 times until they got that, that one NFT that's worth, way more than the rest, right? And again, I get that there is some gamification to it, and like I said, we want you to be able to try to re-roll, right? But we've added some features to make sure that like I said, it's not just like a complete drain on the system. So basically, there's just encryption on the whole re-rolling process, right? So nobody can actually figure out exactly when a new NFT is coming up, right? When you sell, when you're selling past one full NFT, it does get, quote unquote burned, right? Like you said. That goes into the pile, right? But if it's the same wallet address that's the next purchase up, you're going to get the same one, right? Because we don't want someone just keep going, one person just keep going, right? Basically, I mean, it's as simple as waiting for other sales to come in, right? After the next NFT is minted, right, the stack gets like reshuffled, let's say, right? So you can still re-roll, right? You just can't do it like one after another, right? If you're going to re-roll, you have a couple options, right? You can either just keep buying, right, until you find the ones that you want, lock them up, and then sell the rest, right? Or you can sell, one, wait a little bit, see how the volume is, come back and buy another one, and it'll be different. That's kind of the easiest way to explain it. But again, like I said, it's working the way we intended it to. It's meant to keep equality amongst everyone, so that not one person can kind of step in and bogart the whole thing. And also for longevity, we don't want, like I said, we don't want all the rares to be gone in the first week, right? We want to have a long, sustainable product that months down the road, someone can still come in and get one of the top tier NFTs.
I love it, brother. Perfect explanation. And yeah, let me just expand on that a little bit. And it's part of the gamification with that setup that, as people put their less rare NFTs back into that LP pool, the rares actually even become harder to get, which again is bullish because for everything that Jake just said, we're trying to have a longevity here. And, those rares are very important. Especially for the complete set. We in the white paper we said if you're able to get all one of every make and model, so to speak, all 24, you are opened up to even more rewards. So all of that is part of the game theory. These NFTs are supposed to be fun as well. Again, the luck of the draw, and just something cool to collect. But on top of that, although we've really kind of driven home the whole re-rolling, I think the alpha is, especially if you're wanting to get rares, and I know, obviously, it also helps the protocol, but this is definitely the case. And that is simply buying and holding, because you're able to actually get a rare through the reflections. So again, that is another really cool thing to think about, that if you don't want to have to spend money re-rolling, you can actually just accumulate more of the 404 through reflections, and bam, maybe you get a rare one, right, Jake? I mean, that's been kind of what we've seen with Cedo for sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's important to mention that it actually goes even further than that. I mean, you're absolutely right, but in addition to that, the more you hold, right, it's almost like it's like compounding interest, right? The more you hold, right, the more you're going to get, right, on every roll, every allocation, right, every distribution.
Yep, totally.
Yeah, so as you're holding, right, you're going to start, the people that are just holding are going to start acquiring a larger percentage, a larger share of the whole pool, right, and they're going to start getting even more and more and more. And at that point, then, when you do get the reflections, as they add up, you can just lock up the ones that you don't want to get rid of, and then potentially sell a couple the couple that you may not want. And also too, I mean, we do want to encourage people to use the marketplace as well. I mean, there are some reasonably priced NFTs if you're trying to get the set, or you want to upgrade, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with using the marketplace. Even if you got to sell one or two, to get a rare one. Obviously there's you can look at the math on it, but some of the rare ones are definitely worth quite a bit more than the other ones. So there's an advantage to that too.
Yep, no doubt. Those are also great points. So again, everything is here for you to take advantage of. You just have to know, the rules of the game, so to speak. And again, the community is already really getting behind the different strategies. So, all right, just to recap then, if you sell and then buy immediately, and there hasn't been enough volume in between of that, you will end up with the same NFT. So just again, it is purposely built that way to prevent scammers, or again, I use that word, I probably shouldn't, but prevent people for game the system. Again, it's a protection measure to everybody. And why it's important is that again, which ones get burned and which ones get minted, is that it's random. So, again, as time goes on and there is, more volume, or a particular day that is more volume, then that would be the time that you would want to, potentially reroll. Again, we're not discouraging rerolling, but we may have put a little too much emphasis on rerolling, and the real alpha is just holding and accumulating rares through the reflections. So,
Rerolling responsibly.
yeah, there you go. I love it. Exactly. Yeah. That should be a t-shirt. So, all right, and then one more quick question on this, and then anything else you want to add, Jake. But I think the other question was about volume. So, actual volume versus what is being displayed. Maybe go into that a little bit, because I think people are trying to do the math and thinking, that the reflections are low with as much volume as we've had. But again, I think, there's a lot more to it than that. And then that can kind of go into the next question of the rewards being paid out. Again, we had said every 8 hours, but, people take that as gospel. So I think the better way would be maybe to say every 3 times a day. But yeah, do you want to comment on volume and rewards?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't even realize that was an issue. There's then just like, you can't just take total volume divided by number of NFTs, right?
For sure.
Obviously, there's like 20 plus different NFT types. Some of those get paid out like 50 times more than others, right? And then on top of all that, you don't even know necessarily all the, which ones are actually in people's hands, right? Because the ones in the LPs don't get paid, right? So, depending on what's out there, what's being held, that's going to determine the amount that's paid out. Also, like, I don't know, like the very first day, right? Like, the deployer, as we were setting pricing, right? We traded a lot, just to get the price back down, not, for the sole purpose of adding liquidity, right?
For
sure. So that added probably a bit of volume that, obviously we're not, those wallets are whitelisted. They're not receiving fee, they're not receiving reflection or anything like that. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's a simple answer that, like literally 100% of the reflections go directly back into the pot. There's no team allocation. There's no commission structure or anything like that. It's like literally 100% of all the volume, the 7.5%, literally just goes right back in the pot, and divvied up. Maybe also too that so there's a lot actually in the lockers in the marketplace. So a lot of that's maybe not even realized yet because people haven't pulled them out to get those rewards. So a lot of variables there.
Yeah, no doubt, and that is something I want to touch on in a minute as well. But before we move on from this, in terms of getting rewards in the marketplace, but can you just clarify one more time the epoch structure, and again the payouts, because again, I think people get antsy and want it paid out, but all of that is set up decentralized and trustless. But I guess maybe just go over it real quick.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, I guess we've said every 8 hours originally. I think you're right. Maybe the better way to say it is 3 times a day. It's not. There's no like human interaction. There's basically as the reflections come in, they come into like a contract that just stores all of the the reflections, and we run a scheduler, right? Like a program that just 3 times a day, every 8 hours ish, let's say, it pushes all those out, right? We kick the printer 3 times a day,
Yeah.
and it pumps out. So, it should be pretty close to every 8 hours. There obviously is, there's maybe some delay with it has to run, right? So it may not be exactly every 8 hours. It might, once it finishes, there could be a little gap between the time it was sending and it didn't send, right? So, 3 times a day, roughly 8 hours. Don't hold us to it, but like I said, we're trying to get these rewards out to everybody, as quickly as possible, on a quasi schedule. So.
Yeah, 100%. And again, even if for whatever reason that script had an issue, the rewards do not go away. Like again, I think people get nervous that somehow these rewards are not going to be owed to them, and that is 100% not the case. Again, everything is in that contract. You will get paid out eventually. And again, we don't even have a team allocation of those rewards. We're just trying to build cool products that everybody can partake in, and again, it does benefit Spark, which was the whole point of, really rolling all this out. But all right, and to that point, yeah, go ahead, Jacob.
Maybe we should add remember back in the Tomb Fork days, we might be able to add like a little kick the printer button.
Yeah, man.
somebody
there you go.
somebody wants to pay the gas, they get fired off. So this might be something to look at.
Yeah, man, no doubt. I know, yeah, we have something similar in Sparkler, so yeah, I love it, man. We can work that out maybe. So, all right, so to that point too, again, we have said all along that even when you list your NFTs on the marketplace, you will still get rewards, and we've had a lot of confusion and a lot of FUD that is not the case, and I can assure you that is the case. So when you list your NFT in the marketplace, your rewards are still accumulating as if you were holding them liquid, but you get them when your NFT sells or when you delist your NFT. And when that happens, the rewards go right to your wallet. So you don't claim those rewards like you would if you are holding them liquid. So I think a lot of people, delist their NFT and go to look at the 404 claim page and see that there is no rewards there. That is the way it is. That is not how it works. So the best thing I can say is, again, code does not lie. So you have to take our word for it. Make sure that you're using OtterScan. Again, just like the animal, OTTER, OtterScan, that is the best explorer on Pulse. Again, even the native explorer doesn't show these transactions, and you will literally see that whatever transaction you use to delist, you're getting your NFT back, and you're getting some other additional 404 rewards. Now, it may only be 0.007 Spark a 404, especially if it's like a pink or a less rare NFT, but you are absolutely getting them at the same rate that you would had you held them liquid. So again, all the code is solid, everything is working. There is one more caveat. Again, that's why I brought up the every 8 hours. If you list and delist your NFT within, like, say, an 8-hour cycle, or you do it an hour in between, you will not get additional rewards during that time frame. So again, the epochs, the payout schedule still has to take place before you get the rewards. So just keep that in mind, because if you do list and delist, within, say, 4 hours, the second time you do that, you will not get rewards because the rewards haven't been paid out in that cycle. So, all right, I think that is as transparent and clear as we can possibly get. Was there anything you want to add to rewards or the marketplace, LA or Jake? Yeah.
I feel like that was extremely clear. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely covers it. I guess I could just throw in maybe a little pro tip. I guess I'll give you some advice. What I do personally, If you're not really trying to sell the NFTs, right, they don't have to be in the marketplace, right? Like, as long as you're not selling them, either both ways, either on the marketplace or on the open market, right? They don't necessarily have to be in there, right? I myself even locked a few of the ones I wanted to save initially, right? And then at this point now, I just put them back in my wallet, and I'm holding on to them. I'm going to ride it out and just keep collecting. At which point, maybe a couple weeks down the road, I'll see what I've accumulated, put mine back in the locker, put the ones back in, and do what I do, do something with the other ones, right? You don't necessarily. This isn't like a, it's not something you have to do every 8 hours or every day even. You know what I mean?
For sure.
That might be the easiest approach for some, anyway.
Yeah, no, great advice for sure. Again, not financial advice, but definitely how it all works out. So, all right, are you all right on time still, Jake, or are we cutting it close?
I got another 15 minutes, maybe.
All right, then I'm gonna go through it. LA, obviously, we still want to have Jake here for the L1DEX updates too. Do you want me to move into demonstrating on stream, or what do you think is the best use of time right now?
It's up to you.
Okay. All right. I'll go through it pretty fast. Then let's just keep on schedule. So let me pull up this demonstration. LA, you wanted me to show how to go about looking up your rare NFTs, right? Is that what I?
Yeah, how to go about locking up, like just basically show them how to list, where to go, how to do it.
All right, perfect. So here is again my 404s. You can see the rewards. This is one thing I wanted to mention too. Remember the rewards, even though it shows a dollar value, you're not getting dollars or stable token. You're getting actually more Spark 404. So again, I think there was also some confusion there. Again, 0.01 is coming in. And then we did move around some of the tabs. So eventually the marketplace will be on its own tab, but because it's only Spark404 right now, then it's all under one. And so you'll go to, I guess go to dashboard. Again, you can see I was able to collect some rare guys. I got some silvers that I listed for a high price so that I have them. But let me go down and just show you what to do. So you'll see all that you have here. And then again, say I have a rare one I want to list, I would just go here and I would type in the amount of PLS, let it update. Sometimes it takes a while, and then just hit approve, and then you would approve that, and then you would hit list right after that. So it is 2 transactions. Again, don't click off after you approve. Make sure that you actually list it afterwards as well. So, all right, does that help, LA? Anything else you
Yeah.
want me to demonstrate?
And then one thing that I'll point out is once you have listed your NFT in your dashboard, it will no longer show up on your My NFT section on your Spark404 page.
Yes, great point. Because as you can see, all the blue that I have listed, but when I go to this part, none of them are there. So yeah, 100%. Go ahead, Ella, sorry.
And say, for example, you bought an even 5 Spark404, and so you have 5 NFTs. But say you want to lock up 2 of them, so you list 2 of them. Before you list them in your wallet, it's going to say 5 Spark404. But as soon as you list those 2, it's going to say 3 Spark404. And then as soon as you delist them, it'll say 5 again. So just keep that in mind. Of course, when you delist them, it'll say a little bit more than 5 because you'll get your rewards as well, which will automatically go to your wallet if it had been listed.
Perfect. Great clarification. So, all right, and then yeah, you can also see, different offers, if people have listed or want to buy your NFTs that you own, there's a ton of really cool features. It'll show all your listings. If you want to cancel them or edit them, on the fly. And then again, like Jake said earlier, there is no better way to guarantee you're getting a rare one by just buying it. So again, go through and see what's rare and what you may want to buy. Again, all the rarities are on the white paper for everybody to know. The long story short is gold, and the more accessories, the more rare. So there you go. All right, is that it, LA? Before I go back to the non-screen share.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Okay.
for sure.
All right. What is the next topic, LA? If you don't mind asking, then we can do it while I do this. Go ahead.
Okay, so what is the benefit of the Spark404 to our ecosystem?
Yeah, so I think we covered that already, but just to reiterate, I mean, there's a lot of benefit. There's a way, another, new shiny thing that people can speculate on, lots of gains to be made, and get excited about. And more importantly, on an overall level, it is extremely important to reduce the supply of Spark. So again, we've burned 3.2 million Spark in just a few days, and we hope that that only continues. So, I don't know if there's any other points you want to make to that.
Yes,
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Yeah.
do. I actually want to go through some very bullish stats because shout out to Vino. I asked him if he would do some math for me because Vino is our stats man. So everyone give him a shout out. But Vino did some math for me right before the AMA. So we have some really amazing stats. Okay. And they're actually way better than we even were. We were just kind of throwing out a number that we thought was approximately accurate, but they're actually so much better than we even realized.
Let's
So
go. Yes. All right.
currently, 49.92% of the circulating supply of Spark is locked up in Sparkler. And currently, between Sparkler and what's been burned, 62% of the circulating supply of Spark is now off the market. So that leaves only 38%. And of that, a great deal of that is in LPs being farmed or in the vaults. And so very little of that is actually loose circulating around in people's wallets. So AJ, what do you have to say about that?
Oh my God, I need your sound effect, LA. Your brr, brr, brr. Yeah, that
I can
is.
get it.
All right, get it
Give me
ready
2 seconds.
because, yeah, go ahead. I mean, it's so bullish. We're pausing for dramatic effect. There it is. Awesome. I think I talked over it. All right, sorry guys.
Oh, it's because the YouTube. Sorry, let me mute the YouTube. 1 second.
All right, one more time.
We'll do it again. There we go.
I love it. So, yeah, that is extremely bullish. Again, just to put that in perspective, that means that there is very, very little Spark in existence. That means that we have the lowest supply of any reward token on all of Pulse Chain. Again, magnitudes less supply than Ink, and magnitudes less supply than 9-inch or BBC or whatever theirs is. So that is just so bullish. And again, that's not me talking trash on other dexes, but that is showing how undervalued Spark really is. And, that's what we've said from day one, and what we're proving out now. It's not just a reward token that's meant to be sold. There is actual utility behind this token that encourages people to lock it or burn it or whatever, and still profit from doing so. Again, we're not asking you to be a charity and just burn your token because we're giving you mechanisms to burn or lock up the token that directly benefit you as the investor and earning. I mean, good Lord, I don't know how much more bullish it can get in terms of economics, for sure. So we're out here changing the game, and I'm so bullish on that. And once again, the word starts getting out on that, I think we see a massive move on Spark because there just really isn't that much Spark, even with the emissions schedule. So super, super exciting. So All right, awesome.
You know, I would say not only just that though. I mean, just the ecosystem as a whole, right? We just did like we're doing like close to a million a day in volume, right? Like
100%.
adding the 404. You know, we bumped up a spot right on the Pulse DEX list. You know what I mean? So it's good optics in general, I think too.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, we're always grinding, we're always climbing. We've had a lot of people add their own liquidity. Again, we announced that a few AMAs ago of other projects going to add their own liquidity to our DEX. That helps in the volume. So yeah, everything has just been on fire. So all right, I know you got to go soon, really soon, Jake. But I did want to get to L1DEX, and then we can wrap it up as far as Jake being here. LA, is that really the only loose end that we really need Jake here for?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So, all right, LA, I'm gonna have you read this if you don't mind, and then maybe just get Jake to comment on it as well.
Yeah, so we understand that obviously the L1X team got on an AMA this week and shared news that they have shared their code with us. Unfortunately, we're sorry to report that they still really haven't like actually open sourced their code. They did give us access to a very small chunk of code this week. It's just not anywhere near what we need to build an entire blockchain. Just to give you guys an analogy, because you know we love analogies, it's pretty much the equivalent to going to a 1-hour first aid seminar and then being thrown in as the lead surgeon to complete an open heart surgery. That's how much information we've been given versus how much we would actually need to build a world-class, successful, amazing protocol that you know we hold the standard to always build. So basically we were given access to about 6 repos, and to give you a basis for comparison, it would, if you look at other open source blockchains, you're going to find well over 200 to 300 repos. So 6 versus 200. You do the math. Trust us when we say we would absolutely love full transparency and full access to build. It just doesn't seem like there's a willingness to give us access to what we need right now. We will keep you updated every single step of the way, and as soon as there's full access to code, a real explorer, and ideally an audit, we'll finish this DEX and get it launched.
100%. So again, we want to bring this up because it's being made to sound as if we are the ones delaying, and you know us, we want to be transparent as possible, and we just wanted to go over it. So I guess, Jake, from a technical standpoint, is there anything else you want to add to that? Again, just being as transparent as we can be, and the fact that we still want to make L1DEX and L1X as a whole, a success. It's just, unfortunately, we don't have that infrastructure yet. So.
Yeah, I mean, again, obviously, I think it's clear. We want to produce this exchange. We would love to be first to do it, right, and get that first mover advantage, right. But yeah, I mean, it's troubling. I mean, I get it. It sucks that we're still kind of waiting. But again, not to completely knock them. I mean, they're moving in the right direction. They're starting to open up repos. That's important, right? It's a process. It's going to take some time, I think, unfortunately, to really fully develop, what's there. But on the bright side, like I said, we're making progress. The fact that they're putting out actual GitHub repos to the public is a really good sign. But again, it's bleeding edge technology. It clearly does. It clearly works. It does certain things. I think we're all just kind of waiting for the full kit so that we can really explore and make the most robust system we can. But to be honest, like even if we had the full set of code right now, like we still don't have an explorer, right? We still can't measure gas costs on the blockchain. Clearly this has been like an ongoing issue. and we need the tools. We can't. I mean, we would build it ourselves if we had if we had the complete access, but we don't at the moment. But like I said, it kind of is what it is, and nothing else is really happening. So I wouldn't be too worried about like if we're not building something. Obviously no one else is. If it was fully open source, there would have been did everything that it's supposed to do. There would have been 20 projects already building on it. So we're obviously the front runner still, and I have full confidence that as soon as everything's good to go, we'll be also good to go.
Yeah, no doubt, 100%. I think that's all that needs to be said. Again, we want nothing more than to bring it all together. And there's just some really key infrastructure, even with what was shared. Repos they're important for sure, but that is still only one part of the puzzle. So once we get a working Explorer, and nodes are actually running a decentralized network that we can be confident in, and even again a further audit, even if it is a peer review, if we're going to be building a DEX that has potentially multi-millions of dollars in TVL, we have to be very careful and again put our community first in making sure that that it's everything is solid. So, and that's not me saying that it isn't. Again, it's just the steps that we have to take. So, all right, awesome. Thank you. All right, anything else for Jake? I know you had to go, brother. Thank you for coming, even on a mobile, as I know, again, you've been busy. I feel so bad. The devs have been nonstop for literally 3 days straight. So, Ella, anything we want to ask before he goes?
I think that's it. Thanks, Jake.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, man. We're gonna keep cruising along, and we'll be back with more updates for sure.
Perfect. All right, brother. Thanks. Have a great night, and we'll continue answering some questions. If there are questions I can't answer, we'll relay that to Jake and let you know on the next one. So thanks, bro.
You guys, you know where to find me.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Talk soon.
You got it. Cheers.
Bye.
All right, there you have it. So, again, we have a few more things to go over, but I think that was super bullish in terms of a full recap of the 404 launch. Obviously, we went into L1X, and now we can go into a little bit more on Fusion, and then we'll take some questions as well. So, LA, you wanna read me these, or you wanna go through them? Again,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just introduce the topic that I wanted to go over. Someone asked a great question in the group earlier in the week, and I had told them, let's hold off on answering this right now because I'd love to make this like a whole more thorough topic that we go over during the AMA because I think this deserves a moment to shine, this topic. Basically the question is, or the topic is, how the very Fusion system is so great for protecting us from those trying to game the system, bots, those with malicious intent, even scammers, and how it's really a new evolution of DeFi. So let's dive into that and really talk about why Fusion is going to be so evolutionary, and really how we're designing it in a way that's going to be really rewarding to those with long-term mindsets, but also it's going to help to protect everyone more so than how we have things now.
Yeah, no doubt, LA. I love this topic, and shout out to whoever asked this, because I think it's a great way for us to expand on something we really haven't talked about much. So, obviously, you know how important security and education is to us. Literally every AMA, we explain how important it is to have a hardware wallet to make sure you're protecting your seed phrase. Never ever interact with a DM or anything that's not pinned in our messages. But this actually brings the whole entire Fusion system into the fold in terms of security. So a great example, again, I like to actually use real world examples of what I mean. A few weeks ago, we mentioned that one of our top whales was hacked. And, you we did everything we could on the on-chain analysis. We reported it to Binance on them trying to exit the chain, and track everything back. But unfortunately, that person ended up dumping the EMP on the community. And that is a very, unforeseen circumstance that people don't realize. Not only is it devastating to you as an investor to lose your potential life savings or your crypto life savings, but then it also impacts the community because those scammers, again, dump on our heads and extract value from the ecosystem. Again, I'm talking about actual scammers that are stealing your code, your codes, or tricking you into giving them your private keys. So I'm not talking about people that take profit. So anyway, the point is that with Fusion, because we're essentially getting everybody that sacrifices into the microgrid or the central grid with the microgrids, and it becomes an NFT, even if a scammer was able to hack the ecosystem, or a wallet rather, that they are not able to just outright sell that that liquid asset on the market. So they have to list their NFT, and then at that point, if we knew, it was a legitimate hack, and we could verify that, there is potential we could blacklist that NFT from being sold, or another community member could buy that NFT even from the scammer to add to their position, where they're not actually dumping that and extracting value on the ecosystem. So there is a ton of really cool things within Fusion that prevent that at a protocol level as well. So, and again, we're still going to be fully decentralized, as much non-human interaction that is true to the ethos of decentralization. We're going to abide by all that as well. But it really makes sense to help protect people, within our community. So, yeah, Ella, you want to add to that?
Yeah, and then aside from just that kind of side of things, it's that the whole Fusion system is designed to reward the longer term thinkers, and all along us long-term thinkers have been at the mercy of a short-term thinker coming along and making a short-term decision that may be influenced by highly charged emotions, which can negatively affect all of us who are long-term thinkers doing all the right things. And then all of a sudden a short-term thinker comes along, takes a shitty action that affects all of us poorly. Well, Fusion is set up in a way where that can't happen anymore. Other people's actions really are not ever having that big of an effect on us ever again, because this system is set up in such a different revolutionary way. And so that is a really big part of it, because those types of people that, tomb forks may attract during the bull season, who want to game the system and do a lot of like swing trading and all kinds of stuff for really quick gains. This type of system is not going to be as attractive to those people, because they're not going to want to lock away their EMP. And so we're going to attract really positive long-term type people who want to take really good care of the ecosystem with how we have set things up, and our protocol is set up to take care of everyone.
Yeah,
basically.
I love it, LA, and it's 100% true. And again, I like to use the word poetic justice, in that the system that we have built with Fusion does exactly what LA was saying, where that have stuck around, that do believe in the protocol, that do believe in what we're building, that give us the benefit of the doubt, even when others try to FUD or whatever. Those are the people that are going to win the most in Fusion. And, it's also about educating the overall crypto community as well. Obviously, like I said, there's this culture that DeFi is a game, is a casino. I want to ape into the next meme token, and I need 1,000x. But that really, we're carving a lane of real DeFi, and that real DeFi, yeah, it's not going to be 1,000x. Maybe it is. I mean, on eShare, who knows? But the idea is that we're setting you up for passive income in a very sustainable way. That, yeah, if you do have a long-term mindset, it's almost guaranteed that you will win over time because we're having external revenue streams feeding the system, and it doesn't rely on new users. Um, like again, every other Ponzi or meme token on the planet. So those are some really, really bullish things about EMP Fusion. And a year or 2 years, who knows, from now, there is a real possibility that all of the EMP in existence is inside of Fusion. And when that happens, that the only way to get into Fusion is by buying an NFT. Again, your microgrid from somebody already in Fusion, and the APR may be so good that we're just one happy family earning. Nobody is selling. It's like a private club that everybody is just killing it together, and that is the long-term vision of EMP. And those that want to leave are always able to sell their NFTs at any time as well. So there's just again so many amazing things that we have purposely designed into Fusion that will really set the standard, moving into the next cycles, many cycles to come.
I would love to see. I will love to see how competitive the prices will be in the marketplace at that time to get your hands on a microgrid.
Yeah, no doubt, 100% LA. Yeah, totally. So it's a really, really cool concept. And one more thing, just in terms of, potential nefarious people. I mean, again, obviously we're going to see some volatility, and there may be some dumping of EMP along the way up. Um, but I encourage all of you to really understand that that is an opportunity to get EMP at a discount. Buy it up when you see a dip, um, and then that person that did dump, they will never be able to buy EMP for cheaper than what they sold it for, and that is really important. Again, moving into sacrifice.
And then manage your emotions by telling yourself ahead of time and reminding yourself there will be volatility. You will see red on them on the charts. Like
sure.
That is a 100% certain thing. We like for certain 100% there will be red on the charts between now and repegging. There'll be lots of it. But you know what? There'll be a hell of a ton of green too.
100%.
So if you tell yourself and you prepare for that ahead of time, there's no need to get emotional when you see a red candle, because you know that that is actually part of the plan. The people who get ahead, the people who get the farthest in life are the people who are not afraid to fall down, get up and keep going, or make mistakes on their way to victory. And to me, that is like a stepping stone, a red candle on the way up a stair step to where we're going.
Let's fucking go. I love it, LA. 100%. So, all right, and yeah, I mean, we're still getting closer and closer to the sacrifice. Again, we announced the date, the week of June 10th. We'll give you a more solid date, hopefully about 2 weeks ahead. We're already coming in on that 2 week time frame. So again, things are going to start cooking up. Everybody, the original posts, they're like, oh man, a month instead of 2 weeks. Well, time flies when you're in crypto, and we're already at almost 2 weeks anyway from sacrifice. So really exciting times. We're working down the list again of all the final system checks. All systems go, like a rocket countdown, rocket launch. it's about as complicated as a rocket launch, so that makes sense. But again, there's a full list of items. We went through them in detail on some of our last AMAs, and you know, the AMA that says fusion date reveal, that is a great AMA to listen to with all the info on the final checklists and what needs to happen. Again, we'll be giving you an exact date ASAP as we get closer, but it will be 100% in the window of the 10th to the 17th. I believe that's it. I'm not looking at the calendar, but that Monday to Sunday. So, and then uh, the final white paper will be out a few days before sacrifice as well, right, LA? That is the plan.
Yep. 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 Yep.
All right, and that will have a lot of last minute info that all of you may need. I did see a comment, again, not to get too off topic here. I saw a comment from somebody that said they're concerned that batteries are going to be so expensive that they're not able to profit because the batteries are too expensive. I can promise you the batteries will not be too expensive. So, yeah.
Absolutely not at all the case.
Yeah,
At all.
100%. Again, everybody likes to say what is going to be, you know, a problem rather than focusing on how bullish it actually is. And remember, even if batteries were expensive, which they're not, that goes directly to all of you in Fusion. Again, that is part of the revenue stream that Fusion itself is. So, you know, again, please read the white paper because you know, we're building this system to feed those of you that are here, not feed our bank accounts. So that is super bullish as well. And yeah, again, it will be very affordable. I can promise you that. Some of the larger batteries may be expensive, but that is part of the, you know, give and take of being a whale, not wanting to sit in front of your computer for 24/7 and claim when your battery fills up too fast, then you will be buying a more expensive battery as a convenience, you know, for doing so. So there's just so many things that make sense in terms of the economics. So yeah,
Mhm.
go ahead, Ellie. Anything you want to add?
There's a question about whether the batteries will expire from use.
Yeah, so that is something we're also toying with. Again, I think as of the MVP, that will not be the case, but there has been, again, that's part of our discussions in testing, that may be something down the road. So yeah, good question, and we'll let you know for sure.
But I was going to say, if you can take your significant other um, to McDonald's for a Happy Meal for a date, you can afford a battery.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know. I heard in California the Big Macs are like $25, so maybe I don't know
Really?
LA. Yeah, it may be
Wow.
I don't know Chipotle or something. I don't know. Yeah,
Significant other to split a Big Mac.
yeah, totally. Yeah. So yeah, it will be again very affordable. You know, and again, you know, depending on your position, whether you're a minnow or a whale, it will scale accordingly. So
Yeah, and that's one thing I want to touch on, guys. Like, um, we have, like, I'm sure you know this by now, but I want to reiterate, like, we are coming at this from a perspective of we really, really want everyone to win. We're designing this protocol and all of our protocols so that everyone can win. And so we're thinking of you, whether you are coming into this protocol with, you know, a $50 investment or a $50 million investment. You are important to us no matter what situation you're in. And this protocol will cater to you no matter what situation you're in because you're important to us. And we will treat you exactly the same, whether you're a $50 investor, a $50 million investor, or anything in between. And so Fusion is designed to cater to all types of investors and, you know, their investment level so that everybody can win.
I love it, 100%. And again, it's been blood, sweat, and tears have gone into making sure that that is the case with Fusion. So please understand, that was on the top of our mind the whole time. So, all right, some really great notes, and then I want to make another really key point here. Make sure that you're going over the white paper, give it a read, 69 times, according to TripJammer or VNO, or at least watch the explainer videos. Again, we have a complete series on that LA did an amazing job putting together on the YouTube channel. It's about 7 videos. Each video is about 10 minutes or less. So no excuses to not know what Fusion is and how it works. And we will be doing full coverage again through all those AMAs. Not only is it a marketing opportunity, but it's also a educational opportunity to get people ready for Fusion. So not financial advice, but make sure that you're doing whatever you have to do now to get yourself prepared for the sacrifice. Again, I want to talk about the ETF in a minute here, but one last thing before I get to that. Ella, you want to talk really quickly? Again, just one more touch on security in terms of getting a hardware wallet and a plan in place. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though we touched on how Fusion is set up to be more protected than your regular DeFi protocol, that does not mean that you don't need to individually take care of your own safety. It is so incredibly important to set yourself up right now. I know you've heard us say it about 10 times by now, but don't let it be one of those things that you keep telling yourself, I'll do tomorrow, I'll do next week, I'll do next Thursday. Please, 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 get on your computer, order your ledger, order your Trezor or whatever Keystone, whatever one you want, set it up, get yourself all set up, create whatever new wallet you need to, whatever you need to do, however you prefer to do it. Chat with, a friend you trust who, is wiser than you, and ask them how they have their setup to protect themselves and get ideas, whatever you need to do, but make sure so that you're safe within our protocol. But we're going into a bull season and we all have the opportunity to make a lot of money. And so we should all be able to keep it, so protect yourself.
I love it, 100%. And yeah, there's another great point. Again, we said it in many of the other AMAs. Maybe you have a fresh wallet just for Fusion. I think that's a really good idea as well. Again, that way, if you do happen to get hacked, in a worst case scenario, it's always a good idea to have multiple wallets. That way, you don't lose your entire crypto portfolio in one go. So, all right, and then I just did want to touch on this ETF news again. It's not even in our notes because it happened right before the stream. But
I did
again,
put in
yeah,
notes.
yeah, I know. Well, yeah, the ETF approved. I know we talked about it at the beginning, but how that relates to Fusion is even more powerful. Um, again, just to put this in perspective, with the ETF news, I say when, not if. Again, we're big on projecting the future here. When Ethereum goes to $8,000 per ETH, that is an automatic 2x on our peg value of EMP. So just again, wrap your head around this. If everybody sacrifices, everybody gets in, you're already getting peg value in terms of dollar value, no matter where the peg is. We're able to repeg EMP down the road then again around sacrifice or after sacrifice. Um, now everything is functioning, perfectly, and now there is zero buys and sells on EMP. Just again, hypothetically speaking, zero buys and sells on EMP, and again, everybody's in the with their microgrids just chilling and earning every day. If Ethereum or when Ethereum goes to $8,000, that automatically doubles the value of EMP and the entire ecosystem. Again, because our liquidity is bonded with actual Ethereum. So that is just so bullish. And again, we've said many times we didn't purposely delay Fusion. It was just a major undertaking and required a lot more development than we had initially planned for. Um, but that being said, I think everything happens for a reason, and I truly feel like the stars have aligned for us with Fusion, and we are launching at literally the most epic, perfect time possible as we go into this bull run. And now, with an ETH ETF approval, I mean, good God, none of us could have predicted that this soon. And the timing is just absolutely incredible. So, again, if you go, if you like Ethereum and you want exposure to Ethereum and be able to earn at the same time, EMP is an absolute no-brainer as we move into Fusion. So, again, none of that's financial advice, and never ever invest more than you can afford. Again, that is the number one rule, because if you do, you will be way too emotional about the protocol or about everything you do. So, again, pack your bags and get ready for what is to come. So, all right, LA, that was my last minute hype for the night. But yeah, we have a bunch of
I want
questions
to hype
too.
one
Yeah.
more
All
thing.
right, go ahead. Your
I want
turn.
to say,
Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, I want to say after the 3 that I booked today and some other conversations we've had this week, we are officially up to, I believe, 23 AMAs or individual videos booked for Fusion so far.
Amazing.
So we are rocking and rolling, guys, and the list continues. We are going to keep going, keep booking, keep adding more people to the list to reach out to. So here we go.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and I said on previous AMAs, I think our goal is 50. So between,
Sorry, I meant
yeah,
25,
yeah.
not 23.
All right, there you go, 25. So again, and remember, that's based on 2 rollouts. So we're gonna have a whole AMA train around Sacrifice, and then an additional AMA train after Sacrifice when APRs are rolling in. We're back at Peg. Everybody's dancing and singing, and we're high fiving. That's when we do a whole nother round, right, LA? Yeah.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, like, I still have my whole list of people to reach out to for the second rollout. uh,
Amazing.
the people found in the 25 are not those people. We've just ended up making connections with a few new people that weren't originally on my list. And so I have added on, and AJ and I just have the mentality that for Fusion, we are going to have as many AMAs as humanly possible. So let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. Amazing. 100% LA. All right. Well, we are winding down our notes. So, do we have some more dedicated questions, or
We
do,
do. We have
yeah,
quite a
okay.
few.
All right. Awesome. It'll be
Okay,
a
let's
long one
roll in.
today.
Yes, let's roll into Discord, and then I believe there's some on YouTube as well. So, okay. Let me scroll up here. Okay. Okay. Why is Fusion so bullish if there's a conservative speculation for return when statements have been made comparing Fusion to Sparkler on steroids? Because of the peg bonus, the yield, neither. I think this adds confusion for new investors leading up to Sacrifice who don't understand how the ecosystem works. Do you want to start with that? There's more to the statement, but do you want to start with that?
Yeah, I can start with that. I mean, again, I don't really know where to start in terms of we can't predict the future. When we say sparkler on steroids, it essentially means that potentially there is much less dilution in EMP fusion. Again, there's only a certain amount of EMP out there right now, and so that alone makes it potentially a higher APR even with a lower amount of rewards, which again is hopefully not happening. And number two, there are a lot more revenue streams feeding uh, Fusion than Sparkler. And that is not to, downplay Sparkler. Again, as that DEX grows, there's only more and more volume and revenue that feeds Spark. And once we move away from inflation completely, and go to a V3 model, Sparkler becomes even more powerful, because you have to buy Spark, to get into it. Um, but yeah, I mean, those are some of the key points. But yeah, I mean, uh, all of the ecosystems, Cedo, Spark, L1DEX eventually, even Fusion itself, there's probably, way more. Again, I don't want to say numbers because everybody likes to hold me to that, but way more potential revenue streams to Fusion than anything else. So that's why we say Fusion on steroids. Do you want to add to that, LA? I don't know what else we can say.
I'll add that one thing that EMP has that's very powerful is eShare, and the potential for eShare price to go up quite significantly. I mean, we can't predict how high or how high it will or won't go, but just remember that the price of eShare will somewhat impact the APRs inside Fusion, with at least the portion of the main emissions, aside from the external revenue streams. And so
Totally.
that too, I mean, there's a lot of speculation on eShare, and when PEG is back to normal, a lot of people speculate that eShare will climb quite high. AJ and I are not going to personally comment on any particular price range that we believe it'll climb to, but there's a lot of speculation, and it what we will say is that the price of eShare will affect a portion of the rewards, the portion that is the protocol emissions.
Yeah, totally. And just to again reiterate, just like the farms that get the emissions of eShare right now, that will all go towards the central grid and act as yet another revenue. Again, that part is not real revenue, it's simply rewards. But that's part of the gains for sure. So yeah, again, I guess that's what we mean when we're saying uh Fusion, or I'm sorry, Sparkler, on steroids. I don't know how that would deter investors. That's, to me, that's only more bullish for potential investment into EMP. So yeah.
Yeah, and then there's another part of the question towards the bottom that says, what's the driving narrative going into sacrifice to attract new investors? The revolutionary protocol or the real yield?
I think all of the above. I mean, obviously, there is no. We say both. I mean, the real revenue, the peg bonus, the everything we talked about today about it being safer, where no longer are you beholden to other people's actions in the ecosystem. I mean, the narrative is that EMP Fusion is badass, no matter how you cut it. Protocol, yield, all the above. And when we do finally move into Fusion being live, then we'll have actual APRs, to go by. And at that point, again, if everything happens the way we think it will, that alone will be another narrative where, it's one of the highest paying real yield protocols out there. And on top of all that, uh, again, the exposure to Ethereum, that narrative is amazing. Again, having it be backed, especially with the ETF coming. I mean, there is nothing that we wouldn't wrap into what we're doing. And the other newsworthy event that I think is probably the most bullish narrative of all time, that I don't think I've seen any other protocol have, is that we are originally started as a tomb fork. We never stopped building. We pivoted in the bear market, and now we are the only tomb fork to recover peg from literally a 10x below. So I mean
Yes,
that news is gonna just
gonna
fucking
blast that to
spread.
the moon.
Exactly, that news is gonna fucking spread like wildfire. So yeah,
I've been waiting to write that article for quite some time.
100%.
And I will be typing. I can visualize it now, so I will be writing that article. You bet your ass we'll be finding some news outlets to spread that story.
Yeah, I love it. So yeah, that I mean the narrative is strong. I can tell you that for sure.
Amazing. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, I already answered this in text, but I'm just going to answer it in voice. Also, it said on a few of the last AMAs, you mentioned that there was going to be something special for the Sparky NFTs. Since launching today, I think that they misinterpreted that they would get early access. But what we did, I just want to clarify what we said. If you had a Monstros Degen Sparky NFT, if you have a Swap Sparky NFT, if you have an entire collection of Detonator Defenders, and if you have one of the 3 extremely rare Golden Sentinel Squadron NFTs, I think there's a Punk, an Astronaut, and a Willy Wonka. We are going to be airdropping you a Sparky. I think AJ is actually working on that today.
Yeah,
And
so
so,
real quick, they are distributed. So literally about 2 minutes before the stream, I sent the last one. So that was
perfect.
roughly about 150 NFTs. So check your Pulse wallet, and you should have one. So
Perfect. So, yeah, so check your wallet. And if you are in one of those circumstances, you have one. And just to clarify, AJ, because I don't know the answer to this, if they have multiple sets of defenders, did they get one per set or one per person?
yeah, so again, unfortunately for them, but fortunately for us, just so we didn't have too much, potential dumping by going too crazy with the airdrop, it only is one. So if you have a full set or multiple sets rather, you will only get it once per wallet. So
Okay, thanks for clarifying that. All right.
perfect.
Okay.
Yep. And then just real quick to add to that, LA, I know, again, there may have been some previous AMAs. I know somebody had mentioned like golden tickets. That was never what we had said. But more importantly, even that, when we were first experimenting with the 404 idea, I know I did remember saying that we may give early access, but because we went full fair launch, that is why we opted for the airdrop and giving away, a guaranteed spot rather than, potentially letting people get in early and get an extremely low price. So yeah,
Yeah.
that just want to be transparent on that.
Yeah, the way that we ended up setting things up, there was no way that we could have fairly allowed anyone in early. It would have been extremely unfair. So we opted to airdrop those of you who qualified.
Perfect.
Yeah, okay. Here's the next question. Is there any plans to add more advanced filters to search for in the marketplace? Like, for example, filter by rarity or type?
Yeah, so again, that would be a good question for Jake. Unfortunately, he's not here now, so we'll ask him. But I'd say the short answer is yes. But there is a lot more legwork involved in terms of the metadata, and especially as we add more NFTs, whether it be our own or partner NFTs to the marketplace, it becomes very complicated to actually index all the rarities. We can absolutely have search functions, for the number NFT, maybe a little more basic rarities and functions, but it is a big undertaking to literally list out all the rarities and all the combinations and make all of that searchable through the NFT marketplace. So that would be, a further down the road roadmap item. But yeah, I mean, absolutely something we can do.
Yeah, for sure. And then this person has some more suggestions. So, including more advanced quality of, oh, and I did want to actually address this particular suggestion with a suggestion of my own. So he says, including more advanced quality of life marketplace features like, not this particular. Okay, sorry, it's not this part that I was going to address. Bulk cancel all listings, bulk approve / list NFTs for sale, bulk buy times amount of NFTs similar to NF trade sweep button, add NFTs to cart / bulk add to cart, bulk place NFT order offers, add NFT to favorites / wish list. View recently sold NFTs by other users and price sold for. So those are some suggestions.
Yeah, those are great. I mean, a lot of that can be implemented. Some of it is already semi-implemented, so it would be easy to convert that. I mean, there is more of a list view for listing and delisting. If you go to your dashboard on items you have for sale, that can help. But yeah, I agree. I think a button that does it all could be cool. And even a sweep the floor button is also really cool. So yeah, great suggestions.
For sure. Yes. This next one was what I wanted to address. So it says, add a system where you can burn X amount of specific type of NFTs to upgrade them to a guaranteed higher tier of NFTs. That should be very interesting. I've seen it done before in some NFT staking systems. Example, burn 5 pink to get, burn 5 pink type 1 to get a pink type 2 6, burn 5 pink type 2 6 to get 1 pink type 3 5. So what I want to say about this is there is already a way to do this somewhat, and that is using the marketplace. So say, for example, you know that there's a gold one you really, really want, and it's the equivalent to $150. You could sell 3 of your NFTs and then go purchase and guarantee that you get the exact gold one that you want in the marketplace. And then you've done essentially the same thing. And all you have to do is lock up the ones that you don't want to get sold. So you essentially will sell the exact ones you want to sell and buy the exact one you want to buy. And so you're essentially doing exactly what you just suggested. And you're getting not only the type you want, but you're getting the exact NFT that you want. So
Yeah, no, I love that. Again, we definitely want people utilizing the marketplace. I mean, that is why we rolled it out in conjunction with the 404. So don't sleep on that. And some people might get desperate and list their NFTs below market value, or maybe they want to move on. There could be some killer opportunities to get, like you said, more rare, or even just ones that you think look really cool, that are exactly what you actually want. So yeah, all of the above. And again, well, it's only been 3 days as
yeah.
well. So we always, I mean, us as a team. If we need to build additional utility to help, some of our products, then obviously we're gonna do that. So yeah, I mean, I love the suggestions. I love the ideas. But right now, it's about just owning them and getting them and earning more reflections and building your bag so that when there is a new utility for the NFTs, you're sitting perfectly for that next run up. So again, not financial advice, no profit or no promise of work, future work, but again, I think our actions can kind of give you an idea of what may be coming. So
Yes. Okay. A few more suggestions. Sacrifice/burn Spark404 NFTs into Sparkler 3650 max stakes to increase ownership and get some bonus. Sacrifice entire Sparkler position to get special tier Spark404 NFTs. Convert all Sparkler positions into 404 NFTs that can be bought, sold on Sparkswap marketplace.
Yeah, so again, this plays into exactly what I just was saying. We had said we were looking into offering people the ability to convert their detonator, their sparkler positions. We ultimately decided that wasn't going to happen upon rollout. But because it will require a migration of Sparkler, which again is not a big deal. We've done many migrations now that have gone flawlessly. We're migrating masters at this point, but it just was a lot heavier lift. With everything else we have going on, fusion and getting everything out the door. But yeah, we definitely could look at that in the future, 100%.
Yes. Okay. Tiny little bit of a rant before my next question. I can't tell you how often I read the statement, "I've been out of the loop," when people come back into the protocol after not being around for a while. And the first thing that they do is they come into the group and they ask questions, which we love questions, and we're absolutely going to answer those questions tonight. So this is not directly at this particular person. But I just want to say that if you are out of the loop, your first step should actually be to go check out some of the past AMAs, go check out some of the AMA notes, and then come ask your questions. Because what happens is most of your questions are actually in the most recent AMAs and notes. And most likely, by the time you're done that, we've answered all your questions. And then we can give you farther clarity, and you'll actually get a lot farther a lot faster. So I just want to give that suggestion to this particular listener and anyone else who's kind of coming back from a hibernation after a little while. So I'm a bit out of the loop. I would like to know if the new related projects that are being worked on will feed back into EMP, and more specifically, is there a way that Sentinel NFTs will resume printing the way they were back in 2022, 2023?
Yeah, so I could not agree more, LA. Again, we're obviously here to be helpful and answer questions, and we encourage that. Again, I think it's proven in our actions of 2 AMAs a week, multiple hours usually per AMA for literally 2 years now. So, but I completely agree with LA that it does get frustrating when we hear people say, "I've never been around, I haven't been in the loop." Please just take some personal responsibility in helping to educate yourself about the protocol. And once you do that, that will relieve a lot of the repetitive questions, for all of you that are here and do pay attention. So, again, that's just a word to the wise. Obviously, we're not going to say, no, we're not going to answer that. That's not what we do. But please just help us help you. Again, there's so much information out there, and it really doesn't take that much effort to learn and know where we're at with all this. So, all right, so yes, to that point, the first answer of that question is a simple one. Just a simple yes, right, LA? What was the first part again?
So
Yeah.
all of our external protocols feed into Fusion,
For
which
sure.
if I'm not sure if you know about Fusion yet, if you haven't been around for a while, but Sparkswap, Swap, L1DEX eventually. We're building new bridges with 2 other protocols. So all of that feeds into Fusion as external revenue streams. We have additional revenue streams like YouTube stream, what do you call it? Affiliate streaming.
Yeah, affiliate commission. Yep.
Yeah, we have our Spritz affiliate commissions. We have, different ones for like the ledgers and hardware wallets. We have, all kinds of different revenue streams that are coming in mainly from our core franchises like Sparkswap and Swap and those. Mainly every time someone uses the bridge or the DEX and those kind of things are all coming in to Sparkler. There is a portion of each of those transactions. Oh, sorry, I said Sparkler. I meant to say Fusion. There's a portion of each of those transactions that come directly to bolster the rewards inside Fusion.
Yeah, 100%. So, and again, familiarize yourself with the white paper. A lot of that is in the white paper as well. And a lot of the percentage breakdowns are even in the Spark white paper. So, and we are already starting to build the war chest for Fusion. So, all right. And then, yeah, the second part was about Sentinel Squadron NFTs. So, yeah, I mean, again, all of the NFTs, when we collected money for those NFTs, they went right into the ecosystem. I think that's another misconception. We raised, an incredible amount of money for these NFTs. Again, one of the most successful independent mints in Binance Smart Chain history. But all that money went right into the protocol. It didn't go into our pockets. It didn't go into the treasury. It didn't go, to developers. And so because of that, the whole ecosystem has to recover for that to be profitable again. And so, yeah, I mean, that is part of the plan with, everything that we're building, all the DAAS contracts, everything that feeds into the ecosystem. We hope that it is a full reset on those rewards as well. Detonator defenders for detonator, sentinels for reactor, and then even the power up NFTs on Ethereum. Again, when EMP recovers, those NFTs could be extremely powerful again. So we're planning for the recovery with Fusion.
Awesome. Okay, here's a great one. As I have not been in a bull run before, from your experience, would you consider us now in a bull run? If so, at what stage of the bull run would you consider we are currently at?
Yeah, no doubt. So I would say 100% we are in a bull run. I mean, we're hitting all-time highs on Bitcoin. I mean, there's no other definitive answer than a new all-time high on blue chips. That being said, though, we're in a bit of uncharted territory. Obviously with the ETF approval of Bitcoin and now the ETF approval of Ethereum, obviously the halvening is just happened as well. I think that we are going to see a cycle that none of us are even remotely prepared for. I mean, again, past results are not indicative of future, future results. But I think that once we get through the summer, we get into October. Usually, again, in terms of cycles, October is like the real catalyst where we see new all-time highs, and we're 6 months ahead of that now. So I can't imagine where we're gonna be at the end of the year, and then even moving into the beginning of 2025. So obviously the that's how typically the cycles work. But we could be even what we call a super cycle or extended cycle where there's so much retail involvement through the ETFs that we go up and we stay up. We may not see another 4, 5, 6x on Bitcoin like we have seen, but we could easily see $100,000 Bitcoin turn into two, $300,000 Bitcoin and stay there. So yeah, I mean we're so far ahead of the curve right now that it's exciting. And yeah, I think the future is super bright. And typically they say, whatever everybody thinks, do the opposite. But at this point, the Pandora's box is open. Like there's too much institutional and retail and involvement in crypto. Even if there is regulation or other things coming down the pipeline, crypto is here for good, for sure.
Yes. Okay, here's another good one. Question regarding DAAS. Not explicitly stated in the white paper, but since you can only win one of the two prizes per day, if you win the largest deposit, do your tickets for the lotto get thrown out since you get disqualified from the lotto since you can only win one prize per day?
Yes, so the way the code is written is that if you are the largest depositor of the day, even if you've already made a deposit and have earned tickets, those tickets are excluded from the random draw. So, yeah, there is no possible way that you can win twice. Um, and again, those ticket numbers are just not even counted in the random generator.
Okay, because the next part of the question says, just curious, how accurate is the ticket counter at rollover? We can easily count number of deposited tickets by viewing today's deposits, but it doesn't show how many tickets are from compounding, which is why I'm questioning how accurate the ticket counter at rollover. Does it show total tickets, including the ones from the largest depositor? Yesterday's rollover showed 103 tickets. Was that before or after throwing out the largest depositor's tickets?
Yeah, so again, the only way you would get tickets, ahead of time is by depositing and then depositing again, as the largest depositor. So, I'm not sure. I mean, again, in that case, then yes, it would account, like, the tickets would say that, they're that those tickets are in the pool, but it's impossible for them to be picked with the random generator. So does that make sense? I'm trying to be as specific as
Yeah, so
possible.
it,
Yeah.
it it will show up in the number of tickets that's listed, but because they won the largest depositor, the system is set up to block the tickets from their wallet from winning in the random generator.
Exactly, yeah, because as you know, I mean, it takes a while for the contract to roll over. We call it the rollover because there's a lot of math that's happening within the smart contract. So again, in terms of order of operation, even though the tickets are in the pool, it determines the largest depositor first, and then it is that those tickets are disqualified from the random generator for the lottery.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, hopefully that
Okay.
helps. If I'm
Yeah.
happy to go over that again if that still didn't make sense. I'll get a better explanation from the devs too.
Yeah. We're gonna go through YouTube. I'm gonna start with one. I'm gonna read it like Joey from Friends.
Okay.
Could things be looking any better?
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Was that Joey or Chandler? I forget.
I don't know. I wasn't a Friends
Might have been
watcher.
Chandler. All right. Can you the next one? Can you explain the SLP Vault a little bit, please?
Yeah, no doubt. So again, I'll say it in terms of Seinfeld. So we're back, baby, right? Isn't that what George says? But
I
yeah,
don't.
yeah, the SLP Vault. Again, that is just the centralized liquidity pool. Again, when I say centralized, I don't mean that in a middleman type context. Um, but it is a pool of SDI that is what we settle all of our trades in when it comes to the perpetuals platform. So, eventually, and with other platforms, you as an investor are able to actually contribute your SDI to the SLP and become, again, eligible for part of the rewards that the perpetuals platform generates. But because of Sparkler, and again, incentivizing all the rewards going to Sparkler, we have what we call POL, or protocol owned liquidity, within the SLP right now. So that functionality is not available. But again, as we grow and we need more liquidity than we can provide, then we would open up the SLP for others to deposit into and then get a share of the rewards. So does that make sense, Ellie?
Mm-hmm. Next question. Is EMP magnetically shielded to protect from attacks?
Yeah, I love that question. Yeah, we do everything we can. I know it's funny that this person says that. I know there was a recent like solar flare and I know some of our servers were not behaving nicely that day. But no matter what, funds are safe even if we do or don't have a shield, a magnetic shield for us. So
Also, AJ can control things with his mind. In case you didn't realize that, he can make things move with just
yes,
focusing on the eyeballs.
100%. I am absolutely a telekinetic, being. So yes.
Is there a way to compare the Spark404 rewards to a vault that invests Sparkler LP for a Spark take profit?
Yeah. So, as far as like comparing it in the way that it works, it is very similar to that. But actually making a vault that does that is also part of the plan. I'm pretty sure that Cedo already has that in their vaults, where again it takes some of your 404 rewards and actually either gives you more 404 rewards or builds your LP, and burn Spark or burn Spark Pulse. So yeah, that is something. Again, we just rolled out the bSPARK Pulse vaults, but we definitely are hoping to add at least an ETF that includes the 404, so you can actually earn more 404s through that vault. So hopefully that's what that person is asking.
Awesome. If that was not what you were asking, Mail, just yep, he says yep.
All
Okay,
right, awesome.
perfect.
Thanks. I didn't know it was mail. Yeah. All right, thanks, brother. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah.
And that takes us to the end of our scheduled flight. You may now unfasten your seatbelt. The seatbelt indicator has been turned off.
I love it. Yes, no doubt. Oh man, somebody has got to put a meme on that, 100%. So, oh my God. All right, well there you go. Our flight attendant for the day, LA, our fellow team member and marketing guru. LA, what a bullish AMA. Again, much love to you and thank you for all that you do behind the scenes. Is there any other bullish info you want to share
Yes,
before we wrap
actually.
it up? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So I leave for consensus on Wednesday of next week, which is super exciting. And there's at least 3 people that we, regularly have contact with. I think mostly from Pulse Chain that are going to be there. So it's going to be a really great networking opportunity. It's going to be a great opportunity to kind of further some of these relationships with some of the people we've been working with, and obviously meet new people. But it looks like a lot more DeFi centric people are going this year, which makes me really happy because last year when I was there, every time I said the word DeFi, people looked at me like I had 2 heads, like they had no idea what it was, most of them. So I was spending most of my time explaining what DeFi was. So the fact that more people who are DeFi centric are going, and people that we actually know and we're going to get to connect with in real life, and deepen some of these relationships and further them is really great. So excited about that.
Yeah, no doubt, LA. Again, I know I would love to be there. Again, those that are avid watchers of the AMAs, you know that I'm expecting a new baby, and so it just was too much for me. Even though, again, LA can contest. I was so hyped, and we were planning this trip for months to finally get into a real person event. So hopefully, after the due date, we can schedule another in-person EMP and Spark and Cedo and DexFi in the real world meetup. That's definitely part of the plan. And yeah, if you are going to Consensus, reach out to either LA or I, and we can try to do an informal meetup as well. Again, maybe even depending on how many people, I'd love to send LA some funds for buying somebody a coffee or beer if you're not a drinker. But yeah, just to get together and hang out. So yeah, 100%. All right, awesome. And what else?
Awesome.
LA, go ahead. Yep.
There's one more question in the chat. Can you add a 25, 50, 75% option on the trade exchange page when buying?
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. That's something I didn't realize we didn't have. So yeah, that's super helpful. I know I use that a lot on other exchanges. So yeah, great suggestion. LA, will you make a note of that for me? I think that's a pretty easy implementation.
For sure. I thought we had that too, because we've mentioned that quite a few times.
For sure.
Maybe that went away with the new UI, actually.
Yep, I think you're right, actually. So yeah, great catch, Murdoch. So yeah, you're 100% right. I think it was on the old UI, but not on the new UI. So and um, there is that option on the vaults. So if you're trying to get into one of the vaults, you can definitely select the percentages. So.
Oh yeah. So Mega Buddy, I answered him in text, but he wants me to ask his question out loud. So he said, Peg is recovering. Someone came up with the Peg bonus, which is pumping Peg. Who gets credit for coming up with the Peg bonus? So AJ is the one who came up with it. So I wish I had a clapping sound effect.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Well, again, everything we do is collaborative, but yeah, I mean, just based on the math alone, and we say uh, when, not if, just based on reducing liquidity, using the EMP ETH LP, using our treasury, all of the above, it makes sense economically speaking that we can guarantee that it happens. And again, because of that, it's almost like a futures contract. Again, not to be confused with elephant money. I know a lot of people say that, but futures in the real world where we're honoring a future price of EMP because we know that it will get there. So yeah, and again, it sounds too good to be true, but there really isn't any smoke and mirrors involved. I mean, obviously, remember that if you're buying EMP as we get closer to PEG, you're not getting that PEG bonus. I mean, you're still getting a PEG bonus, but you're only getting a 2, 3, a 2x, or a 3x instead of a 10x. Those that are buying right now are the ones that, are getting the full effect of that. So, yeah, again, LA, anything you want to add to the PEG bonus?
I think it's very powerful, and a lot of people are not going to realize how good they have it until it's too late.
I love it. Again, don't be. That's a perfect segue because we say all the time, don't be that guy or gal that says, "Man, I didn't take advantage of this opportunity when I only heard about it every day for the last 6 months." So yeah, don't be that person. So all right, cool. All right, any other questions?
No, but I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here. You all brightened my day even more and made me smile so many times throughout this AMA. So thank you for being here. We always love spending time with you and answering your questions. Keep them coming because, we love to give you clarity and make sure you feel great about being here. And we look forward to getting closer and closer to what we're all looking forward to, which is fusion. But yeah, we are going to keep building, keep growing, and keep promoting. We're chugging along on this choo-choo AMA train, and we got 3 more AMAs coming up tomorrow. So I will post the schedule in the AM. Have a good day, night, afternoon, evening, morning, guys, wherever you are in the world. Enjoy it.
I love it. Perfect. Thank you, LA. You're saving my voice. I've had a long day, so I don't even have to do my outro now. We'll end